Today is, well, at the time of this recording, today is Wednesday. Yesterday was Tuesday. I just want to get these cranked out because I said that I basically made a promise that I would, or I hinted that I would get 12 episodes done this year at least. Do you remember in 2020 when you did like 30 episodes in that year? That was so many. Yeah, I think you did more. And that was like, wow, that was so much to keep track of. Yeah. And now, just the thought of doing this, I'm not in a groove. I'm not really in the mood. Do I believe that this is helpful? I continuously say that it's helpful. It's like, maybe you don't want to go to therapy, okay? I'm not currently going to therapy. You might say, well, why aren't you going to therapy? You need to be going to therapy. You need to get out and spend a lot of time with people. Well, when you work from home and you need to do a whole bunch of things in your adult life, socializing with people isn't necessarily number one on my priority. Yeah, I'm okay with just having said that. I mean, I go to church on Sunday. I sometimes go to church on Tuesday, go to Bible study on Wednesday. Ever since my shoulder thing happened, it's over. It's after 9 o'clock, and I was like, I want coffee. Michael, no. Maybe that would help you sleep. Don't get any ideas. Well, if you did do that, then maybe you would be productive and you would be able to make a lot of progress. Oh, Lord. Is it lawful? Is it beneficial? Would it be beneficial? Do I have big things to do tomorrow? I don't want to go to bed at 3 again. Maybe like 1 scoop? Playing dress up on TV shows is fun. I did that last week when I dressed up in my own clothes. That was a lot of fun. And I'm going to do that on Tuesday. That should be a lot of fun. We need to make more money. That'd be so cool if we could do that Monday. Wouldn't it be super watered down? All right, I did it. I've done it. I started more coffee, and I'm okay with it. There was only 1 scoop. It might be super diluted, but that's okay. Hopefully it'll make this not super stale, and we might be able to find some nuggets. So, I recorded episode 62 a couple days ago, and it's been a good time since. I haven't edited it yet, but I'm gonna, Lord willing, put the oily oysters on the doily. I have a long-lost vocal warm-up exercise list hanging up in here. I've had it since 2019, maybe, or 2020. The hardest tongue twister on it says, the 6th sick sheik's 6th sheep is sick. That's not as difficult. The 6th sheep, well, I guess it is. The 6th sick sheik's 6th sheep is sick. I have said that multiple times. But am I perfect at it? No. Wow. Mami mi mamu. I've recently discovered, wow, I must be really annoying to a lot of people. That's my timer to go get my coffee. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! My French pressed coffee. What about, like, a different country? It's not France pressed. France pressed. French. What about, Spanish pressed coffee? Or Irish pressed. That sounds cool. Or bench pressed. That was lame. I'm coming back in. Don't spill this anywhere, please. What you're looking at, folks, is, well, I don't know what you're looking at. What you're smelling, folk? Well, I don't know what you're smelling. What you're feeling? I don't know what you're feeling. What you're hearing, folks, is me talking about what I'm going to say next, which involves my coffee, of course. Wow, that's really not bad for one scoop. It's nice and smooth. While I was gone, I not really saw, if you were to lay out my mind on a map, it'd be amazing to see where all these different topics show up. Not only the topics I've talked about in this podcast, but all the random thoughts that I had while I was in the kitchen getting my coffee. Wow. I have really, really learned, okay, there are 1,001 things that I could talk about here. What are the things that matter? I want to talk about things that matter. Do I want to talk about my coffee? Do I want to talk about my mayonnaise? My avocado oil mayonnaise? Do I want to talk about what other thoughts did I have when I was in the kitchen? I don't know. See, they're gone. Do I want to talk about the ads that I did on Facebook? Do I want to talk about vocal warm-ups? Do I want to talk about the prevalent things on the tip of... Are these things... You know what? I think the things that you are just randomly, aimlessly talking about are the things above the surface of the water, if you think of an iceberg, and the things that are below the water, if you think of an iceberg, are the topics that you've come up with, that are the lessons in your life. Wow. What a gift. That is a gift. That is a gift, to be able to have that thing, to just sit and talk. Even if you don't have the capacity or the capability to record and listen back, you should just vent and talk. I wonder how much different this would be if I were actually talking with a person. Do you actually gain anything from just speaking your mind so oftenly like you do? I think it's a really good release. There's probably some type of psychological benefit that has. It probably comes off as completely wacko to some people, but I like it. It makes me feel really lonely. Michael, you're not supposed to start crying. Well, I'm not crying. I just have tears in my eyes. They're not like... Why do our eyes tingle when we start to cry? I just got the tingle, the eye tingle. My grandma says life is funny. Life is very funny, from the quarrels that we get into, to the things that we talk about, to the things we eat and we drink, to the things we do for work, to the things we do for fun. King Solomon, in a dream, asked God for wisdom to judge the nations, to judge the people. And that's in the beginning of 1 Kings. I've had a lot of vivid dreams in the last month or two. I haven't even bothered to write them down. I've wanted to, but ultimately, it wouldn't do a whole lot. I think it actually would do a whole lot, because when I write dreams down, it's exercising my mind. Speaking of my mind, if you are just joining, this podcast as a personal and therapeutic tool I call a vocal diary. It's a space for me to process thoughts, explore stories, and post them for those who might be interested, hopefully inspiring someone. I'm not doing this for any type of social gain or to be a better human. I am doing this for the sole purpose of better understanding myself. Episodes 1 and 2 talk about who I am, so give them a listen if you haven't. A quick disclosure: going on tangents may or may not be involved. This show is conversationally true to how I speak. Shout out to EDC Crate, coupon code GQT 15%. I still need to go buy that bottle of cologne. I think I said last episode that I would. Oh, that's another thing that I've been doing a lot of. Not as much, is saying that I would do things and not actually doing them. It's just annoying. It's so annoying. Here we go. To when I had the driving test. I'm going to sum it up really quickly, and then we might move on, we might not. One day, my friend Simon and I were playing Grand Theft Auto 3? No, Grand Theft Auto 4. Till like 4 a.m. We went to bed, woke up, he went home. I had a driving test. If you don't know what a driving test is, it is a test that tests your driving skills. Not a written test, but an in-person test where I got in a vehicle with my instructor. We drove around Horsetooth Reservoir in Fort Collins, and I felt so good that I feel like I aced that test. I only remembered one part whenever I thought of that story, which was driving around the reservoir, but now that I think about it, I remember driving to the reservoir. So I remember, it's like in a video, a video is just like, for every second of video, it's actually 29 to 30 pictures, depending on your frame rate. FPS stands for frames per second, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I remember 2 frames out of that whole experience. Is that a third? Going to that's a fourth? Wow. I just remembered going to my instructor's house and then looking at my blue card, Conahan's Driving School. So yeah, 4 frames. Interesting. The human brain is fascinating. Thank you, God, that I didn't drive into the reservoir that day. My life is filled with things that I probably should not have done, but I ended up getting through them safely. I don't think this coffee will kill me right now. Not necessarily probably the best idea, but it's not the worst idea. There are much worse things I could be doing right now with my time. And it's not even my time, it's the Lord's, so I'm trying to steward it well. Tell me a person who has done everything in their life perfectly. I'll give you a couple seconds while I drink this coffee. Anyone? Anyone come to mind? How did we get here? Oh yeah, because imperfection, because that driving test, I made an imperfect choice. I did that. I put someone else's life at risk. I stayed up a whole night with my good friend, whom I went to his wedding recently. That was very sweet. To when I pour alcohol out. Whew, it's been a while since I did that. Okay, so instead of saying the thing first, let's say it after we provide some context. The first time I drank alcohol, I was 16. I'm 31 now. Was I 16? Yes, I was 16. So that was 15 years ago. Wow. Such a small period of time in the grand scheme of things. But in someone's lifetime, that's like a seventh of their life. I was at my cousin's graduation party. My grandma was there, my aunt was there, my uncle was there. We had a bunch of maid rights. This was in Iowa. I had a bunch of M&Ms, drank a bunch of alcohol. No, I didn't drink that. I smoked a cigar for the first time. And I actually inhaled it. This was like my first big experience with alcohol. Really my first, no. So that really ingrained from the beginning this deep sense of not liking alcohol all that much. I got into high school, drank a lot of alcohol. Got into college, drank even more alcohol. And every time it didn't really end up that great. Oh, no. I just made the connection between two people. There was a time in college at a party. I danced with this girl, and it was super awesome. We were dancing to Beauty and the Beat by Justin Bieber and Nicki Minaj. And it was like the best swing dance you had ever seen. This was sophomore year in college, before I met Jesus. Was it before or after I wanted to commit suicide? I don't know. Probably after. Ow. I think it was after. So probably 2013. Anyway. Yeah, I just remembered what girl in my life reminds me of her. Or I remembered who she reminds me of. I wish you could see my face right now. That experience of alcohol did a lot to me. I've recovered from it. I'm not an alcoholic, but when I am presented with alcohol, I drink it, but I'm not really that into it. And if I buy any, I end up pouring it out. Because that's how much I actually don't want it. The last time that actually happened was 2021. So that's good. That's real good. Yeah, alcohol is one of those things that can actually do quite a bit of damage to you, and I think it did. What damage did it do? Only God knows. Ow. I just hit my head on the microphone.